You gotta, show some humanity from me. Your audience is gonna think I'm the devil if they don't already.
Well, I might leave that in because you're being natural. Why do you say that?
Did you record that?
Why?
Oh yeah.
Why would you say that?
Why would I say what?
Why do you think people think you're the devil?
No, I said a certain audience, the African American audience, who tend to think that Mumia got a raw deal, have not been so happy with me. I'm not saying all, but a lot of them have not. And what I would like to do is, I didn't do this out of any reason, political reason, or to just, I'm going the other way. I looked into this case. If the evidence had led to that Mumia was innocent or got a raw deal, I would have shown that. Now, granted, I would have had a lot of people on the other side against me. But I followed the trail of truth, I looked into it, and it led me down the path where Mumia is guilty.
Philadelphia police tonight are mourning the death of a young police officer shot and killed on a Center City street corner early this morning.
Officer Daniel Faulkner was killed performing a police officer's most routine and yet most hazardous task, a car stop. Police say that Faulkner stopped this car carrying William Cook, a street vendor, as it traveled the wrong direction on a one-way street in the heart of Center City's combat zone near 12th and Locust Streets. A scuffle began, and from across the street, police say, the murder suspect, Mumia Abu-Jamal, came running and opened fire on the officer.
I'm not here to make friends, to be popular. I'm here to tell a story. If I wanted to be popular, there are plenty other ways I could have gone with this film or with other movies. But what is the truth? What is interesting about a certain subject? And that's the way I go.
One brother's driving in a moving vehicle, and the other is parked in his taxi in a parking lot. Is that a coincidence? A part of my speculation is that the thing was a setup.
His brother doesn't want to take the stand because his brother knows exactly what happened. And then Mumia did it.
When I started out to do this film, I thought that Mumia was probably guilty, but I didn't know anything about the trial, and I thought maybe there was something wrong with that. But when I did my research, when I read the transcript, and when I looked at all the facts and I interviewed people, I came to the conclusion, not only did he do it, he got a fair trial, but he also came from a very radical background that highly influenced his way of thinking.
He was a revolutionary in every sense of the word. That was Mumia's history before this night.
Everybody that I knew around him was of the opinion that he was a ticking time bomb.
When you're making documentary, if you want to do it right, you have to spend a lot of time on it. So is it going to captivate my interest for that amount of time? Is it interesting? Is it something I want to really, is it a fascinating subject? When you look at what happened with Shame of a City, with the politics in the city and how that happened, fascinating. If you look at the Mumia story, fascinating story. And then, of course, I know, being African American, yeah, people are going to have some problems with it, but I don't select my films as, okay, I'm going to go the other way. It would be too, that's superficial. I look at the story and I decide, is this compelling? Can I do it in a different way? And I make the film. There is a book that's very influential to me called Case Closed by Gerald Posner, and it's about the JFK assassination. Prior to reading this book, I thought that everybody had something to do with the JFK assassination, including you, Mike. You were a part of the conspiracy. When I read this book at 25 years old, I was convinced that Lee Harvey Oswald acted alone. Why? Well, he did a very good job not only debunking all the myths about the case, but he looked into Lee Harvey Oswald's character, who his heroes were, what his thought processes were prior to the murder, to the assassination. And it was brilliant. And I used that same tactic to tell Mumia's story. And I was happy Gerald Posner actually came on board as a consulting producer on the film. And that allowed me to get some money initially. But that's the way, that was what the strategy was, to take that book, to use the same method he did with Case Closed and apply it to the barrel of a gun. And I looked at every conspiracy theory. I looked at everything. And people do have legitimate reasons to think that he got a raw deal based on the history of Philadelphia and what has happened in this city, especially to African Americans. But this guy isn't the guy. There's plenty of other people you can put your support behind. But this guy is not the person.
They needed a revolutionary act of violence to become powerful players in their own lives.
Danny Faulkner, as he lay on that sidewalk looking up at the barrel of that gun, saw Jamal actually implementing his political power.
Based on his history, I always wondered if Mumia Abu-Jamal just wanted to murder a police officer, wanted to kill a cop.
If you go into seeing the barrel of a gun with an open mind, look at it with an open mind. There are a lot of legitimate concerns that people have or opinions about the way African Americans were treated not only in this country, in this city. However, I think if you look at it objectively, look at the way it's structured, and you'll see that Mumia came out of a time when there was a lot of horrible problems in this city. And he chose a track, which I don't agree with, where he thought that revolution and overthrowing the government was the option. A lot of other people took a different road. They through legislation and marches and civil disobedience. That's the way we made progress, and that's the way I think we should continue to use the laws of this country to change bad things. But look at the film with an open mind, and if you still have the same opinion that you had when you come out of seeing the film, that's fine. But if you look at it with an open mind and have a rational discussion about it, I think that makes society better. Hi, I'm Tigre Hill. I'm the director of The Barrel of a Gun, and you're watching Reelblack.